Hey, so in this video, we're going to talk about VA home loans. So if you were in any branch of service and wanted to use your VA home loan, there are a few things that you should know. So I'm just going to touch on the big broad strokes and get in depth on maybe another video when we're talking about eligibility, and there's a lot to take away there. People have questions all the time. Common questions are like, how many times can I use a VA home loan? Can I use a VA home loan while I'm deployed? How long do I have to serve in the reserves or National Guard to be eligible for the VA home loan? How long do I have to serve in active duty service to be eligible for the VA home loan? All that aside, let's just talk about really briefly what the VA home loan is, kind of how it works, and why it stands out as the product for you. So a VA home loan has a 0 down payment requirement. So what that means is you don't have to have a down payment if you don't want one. If you wanted to put 5% down, 10% down, 20% down, you can absolutely do that, but there is no minimum down payment. So you are moving into the home with $0 out of pocket for a down payment, okay? The VA home loan also has something called a VA funding fee. Now, there's two things I want to talk about here. If you have a service-connected disability and you have like a claim with the VA and you're not in process yet, but let's just say you've already filed your VA disability claim, you have compensation from the VA, then your VA funding fee for your mortgage will be waived. You would be what we call exempt from paying a funding fee. Why there's a funding fee in the first place is because of that no down payment I was just talking about. So again, no such thing as a free lunch, right? If you have no down payment, you're going to pay for it somewhere else. A way to think about that is the VA funding fee. Unless you have a service-connected disability, then there's no VA funding fee for you. If you do not have a service-connected disability, then you would pay the funding fee. However, you do not have to pay the VA funding fee out of pocket. In other words, you can finance it into your loan amount. So once again, you can get into the home with $0 for down payment and funding fee out of pocket. You would pay for the funding fee. It would just be in the loan amount, okay? Now, as far as closing costs, some people get confused and they say, well, the VA home loan allows you to buy a home without paying closing costs. That is not the case. Like any loan program, you can negotiate an offer such that the sellers of the home that you want to buy pay for your closing costs. But the VA does not give you 0 closing costs. That's not a thing. So you would have to pay closing costs unless you wrote your offer in such a way that the sellers would pay your closing costs. So can it be done with 0 money out of pocket? Yes, absolutely. I have actually helped people do that before. Veterans moving into a home with 0 money out of pocket. They basically did not have a down payment requirement. They got the sellers to pay for their closing costs. So really the only thing they had to do was put money down for earnest money, pay for their inspection and appraisal, and they can actually get the appraisal money back at closing with that seller credit. So the VA home loan is a great program if you are light on assets, don't have a lot of money for a down payment, maybe don't have a lot of money for closing costs, and overall in terms of the loan program and kind of requirements, the credit score minimum is 580, so you don't even have to have perfect credit or even kind of good credit. You can get in with a 580, and so that also makes the VA home loan kind of stand out amongst its peers in the lending world as a great program. And then I would say lastly, when it comes to what we call debt to income ratios are how much debt you can take on per month considering your income per month. And so aside from your debts like auto loans, credit cards, and the like, the VA home loan allows you to carry more of a mortgage payment month to month than other loan programs would. So we can really get the debt to income ratios higher with a VA home loan. What that means in English is basically it helps you qualify for more. So yeah, that's the gist of it. And there's a lot here that I'm not really unwrapping too much on purpose because I could talk about the VA home loan for days and days and days. So for right now, the broad strokes, VA home loan, how does it stack up against other mortgages? It's great. It's a fantastic loan program. It's zero down payment. The funding fee can sometimes be removed if you have a service-connected disability, and closing costs are not paid for by the VA. That is a misconception, but depending on how you write the offer on the home you want to buy, the sellers may be willing to work with you, considering you're a veteran and such. So, yeah, awesome loan program. I personally am a veteran. My home purchase was through the VA. Didn't have any issues with appraisals, didn't have any issues with the sellers, didn't have any issues with the agents. And so, yeah, it's a great loan program, and it is not there as a government program to help people that need help. It's there for people who serve the country. And so a lot of folks don't know, but just a little fun fact, not to run this video on too long, but a fun fact here is the GI Bill was, in its heyday, an actual a home buying program. So when that shifted, the GI Bill became an education benefit. So veterans and soldiers could get an education, and the VA home loan is kind of what was rolled out for them to purchase a home. But originally, the Montgomery GI Bill was a housing benefit for veterans. When they basically were drafted and went to war, they came home to kind of a life that had moved on without them. And so the federal government kind of rolled that out for them so they could come back and buy real estate and start a family. Anywho's, that's all I got for now on the VA home loan. I'll see you guys in the next one.